What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about stats and particularly your FKDR and how hard it is to get a really high FKDR. Before I start talking about that though, I do want to apologize for not posting yesterday. I was pretty busy with school. I've had lots of tests and that sort of thing lately, so I hope you guys understand. I'll make sure to post more in the future. Okay, so blue didn't put down a bed defense and is just immediately rushing me. So they obviously are a little bit sweaty and kind of know what they're doing, so this guy could be a little bit difficult to fight. Unless I can just do that. Alright. And he disconnected. Cool. Okay, so this may sound kind of obvious, but I do want to bring it up. FKDR means two things. First of all, that you are killing people who don't have a bed, and that you are not getting killed when you don't have a bed. Those are literally the only two things that go into your FKDR. But I feel like it's important to bring up, even though it's a little bit obvious, just because you can still have a high FKDR even if your bed breaks, or you're not winning a bunch of games. If you just are getting lots of final kills and playing smart. Alright, so elaborating on what I was saying, where you don't really need to win games to have a high FKDR, I also want to mention that you can actually have an FKDR of 13 without winning a single game. And that's kind of where FKDR is a weird statistic, because if you think about it, if you're in a doubles game and you lose, that means there has to be one person alive at the end. If there's one person alive at the end to kill you, you get every single final kill, then you're going to have an FKDR of 13, because there's 14 other players, one has to be saved until the end, so you're going to have an FKDR of 13. However, if you're looking for a really high FKDR, so if you're looking for something like an 100 FKDR, then you do have to be winning a significant amount of games. And winning a significant amount of games means that you have to have lots of big win streaks. Now, the issue with having lots of big win streaks is that you're also going to get sniped if you're on large win streaks. That's happened to me before when I've been on pretty big win streaks. And a lot of times that does ruin your FKDR, and that's why even the best Bedwars players, a team of 4 Bedwars players, are never going to have a infinite FKDR. They're always going to have final deaths if they've played on an account for a little while, just because you're going to get sniped. And I should mention, like I was saying with, as long as you played on an account for a little while, I feel like I do need to bring up the idea of having an alt. I have an alt myself, and the way that alts work is, obviously they're an account that is a fresh account, so nobody's ever played on it before. And Hypixel, as a server, makes it so that all the people who haven't played much Bedwars, that's generally 10 stars and under, are facing off against people who are also 10 stars and under. To my knowledge, the reason why Hypixel does that is so that the new players win games and aren't discouraged. And if the new players are winning games, they're more likely to play on Hypixel, which means that Hypixel is more likely to make money from these players playing on their server. Kind of just been aimlessly wandering around and getting way too many resources, so even though there's only like 3 teams left, I guess I'll get some obby or something. Alright, so the second thing that can increase your FKDR that I feel like needs to be addressed is the concept of queue dodging. So that's where you're in a game with players, and you leave the queue and join another game because there's sweaty players or people who you believe to be hackers or that sort of thing. And you can use Bedwars overlays is what they're called. So basically, it's a application that shows everybody's Bedwars stats in your game and labels them as like snipers or that sort of thing. And if you queue dodge indefinitely, theoretically you can have an infinite FKDR because you'll never lose a game to these people because you can always avoid snipers and that sort of thing. I don't have any tools or TNT or anything, so I'm just gonna grab some pieces of TNT. Alright. I'm gonna put one down. Do need some health, though. Oh, they have water. This is such an interesting bed defense spot. Kinda wanna get out of here. Alright, I got that guy. I do need to try and block off this water. Cool. Then I guess I'll put another TNT. I can get the bed and kill them. Cool, that's a GG. So before I ended up winning that game and kind of talking about my gameplay, I was mentioning how you can end up doing lots of Q dodging if you're looking to boost your FKDR. And a better way to illustrate how powerful that is if you are in a team of 4s, which is the statistically highest probability of you winning, and you're a completely average player. So let's say you're a player that's in the 50th percentile of all Bedwars players as far as skill goes. And you are with 3 teammates in your game of 4, and they are all statistically average. So theoretically, you and your 2 teammates and your statistically average party of 4 could get an FKDR of around 100, with Q dodging and other strategies to kind of artificially boost your FKDR. And I'm not trying to say that people who have really high FKDRs are bad in any way. That's not what I'm trying to get across. I'm just proving how difficult a stat it is to determine whether somebody's good or not. And that's kind of a whole nother discussion, is what stats actually mean. Because in my opinion, stats don't mean a whole bunch. I have to kind of like 1v1 somebody and play with them before I can really see how good they are. And I think a lot of other people share my viewpoint on that too. I ended up voiding there to try and defend my bed. Yeah, they don't have shears, so I should be able to defend here. Cool. Alright, so after saying all this, what can Hypixel actually do to prevent these quote-unquote artificially high FKDRs? And the answer to that is practically nothing, because Bedwars is certainly not at the top of their priorities. If you look at which games they've updated recently, and where Hypixel is heading as a server, it's definitely all centered around Skyblock, rather than Bedwars or Skywars or the PvP game modes. And I think that's kind of just the nature of Minecraft too. Obviously, it's ridiculously easy to hack on a server like Hypixel, and Hypixel hasn't done a whole lot about that. They did just release the new Atlas system, so at least we're taking some steps in the right direction, but it's still kind of... we're still a long ways away from Hypixel being a really nice server to play on in the terms of Bedwars. Alright, Gray's really building above my base, and I do not have the blocks for that, so I'm gonna go grab some blocks. And they already took my trap. At least Blue got Gray bed, which was the smart thing to do by Blue. We'll see if he jumps for me. He did indeed jump for me. And my bed's gone. That's fun. Yeah, he's just gonna drop and get my bed. He is on 6, though. He's just gonna run. I have 8 M's, though. This shouldn't be too bad. Okay, I kind of covered everything I wanted to about my FKDR discussion, so I'm probably just gonna focus on gameplay now. Looks like Blue's chasing after me, and they do have fireballs. And I'm just gonna get cleaned, aren't I? Okay, I ended up running a little bit there. I'm actually hoping Blue wins that fight, because then I can go get their bed, too. Blue did not win that fight. I am over here, though, and I do have pots, so I think I'm just gonna pot up. Alright, I knocked him off there. And then I got the bed. I want to not let them buy anything. They must have had like an iron sword in their ender chest or something. Good fight. I was not prepared for that. That guy's actually good at PvP. Alright guys, well, on that rather depressing note, that'll do it for today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like. If you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Goodbye.